Okay, so as a healer priest, you have to understand what's good about your kit and what's not. So basically, you have one of the huge or the strongest single target healing that you can dish out with your passive. So let's take a look at it. So it's 1900, and whenever you use any healing on that unit, it's going to just receive so much healing within 6 seconds. Like we use recover, that's divine blessing. We put down light wave, now we use our ultimate. We put down another recovery and now another light wave. What's up everyone, Gids here for another video on Tarisland, and today I'm gonna be sharing to you my healer priest build because from the previous video that I made for a DPS build, a lot of people have been asking me to create one for a healer priest, so here you go. So before I start, a lot of the information that I know about a healer priest is also coming or referencing this document that we have here by Lani. So shoutouts to Lani from the official Discord of Tarisland Priest. Okay, so this is a written guide that you can actually follow along. I'll leave a link to the description down below for this one. Okay, so as a healer priest, you have to understand what's good about your kit and what's not. So basically, you have one of the huge or the strongest single target healing that you can dish out with your passive. You also have huge AoE heals, but when it comes to single target, really you're gonna lose out in the long run versus the other classes because you only really have one huge burst heal and that's it. When it comes to single target healing, really it's not your best suit, but when it comes to AoE healing, it's pretty good. Okay, so now to explain the skills, so let's start off with explaining the skills of a healer priest. So let's talk about skill 1. Skill 1 is basically your spammable ability. You use this one every time your cooldowns are not yet up. So this is your single target healing and it's not really that good. It's not really that good. Okay. Next, we have skill 2, recover. So this basically is like a regeneration ability that you put onto your allies and you can see they are glowing like this one. So basically, they are healing over time when you have that ability activated. Next, we have light wave. So light wave is the thing that you put down on the ground. Anyone within 24-meter radius by this skill is going to get healed up. Something that you want to note with skill 2 and skill 3 is that they actually fill up your wings bar over here. So whenever you've casted them at least 3 times or up to 6 times, you will be able to activate your passive ability. So we're now at 6. So this 6 will basically change your skill 3 into divine blessing, and this is your huge single target healing ability. So let's take a look at it. So it's 1900, and whenever you use any healing on that unit, it's going to just receive so much healing within 6 seconds. So always try to reserve this one for a teammate that's actually very low. So if you look at the description, it will heal them by 224% of your attack, and then for the whole 6 seconds whenever we do any healing or whenever it's going to be receiving heals, it's gonna receive an additional 112% of your attack. So huge single target heal for a character that's probably dying. So this is one of your huge heals that you should know when to use, and you should use it accordingly or wisely. Alright, next we have your skill 4, light healing, basically an AoE ability. Boom. Very simple ability, very easy to use, but again, keep in mind when you should be casting this one. Just use it when everyone on the party is kind of taking damage and you want to top off everyone. So it's a simple way to actually do that one. Next, you have Holy Guardian. Holy Guardian, again, this is something that you have to take note of whenever you're using it because it's going to be very, very good in using it for your frontline tank or when it comes to PvP, whoever is getting focused down, because this is a lot of damage reduction and physical defense. So it's going to make your ally tankier and so much easier to heal them as well when they have this buff on them. Okay. Finally, you have Hymn Light. So this is basically your panic button, your oh shit button when you don't know what to do. So basically, it's a channeling ability that heals everyone around you in 24 meters, right? For a lot of heals. So it's a very simple ability and yet it's very useful as well. Finally, to explain your Inscribed Stone skill, so this basically doubles the effect of Light Wave, your skill 2. Well, this one's Divine Blessing at the moment. And also, it upgrades your skill 2 into becoming an AoE ability. So something that you have to keep in mind when using this ability as well is that it resets the cooldown of skill 2 and skill 3. So before you use your Inscribed Stone skill, you want to use your skill 2 and skill 3 first. So like we use recover, that's divine blessing. We put down light wave, now we use our ultimate. We put down another recovery and now another light wave, right? So this is another huge healing ability that's coming out for you. So anyone that's at 1 HP is basically gonna get topped off when you use this combo. Okay, so again, just a quick review for your 3 healing abilities, huge healing abilities. You have filling up your wings with skill 2 and skill 3 to get it to 6 stacks. And then you have your skill 6, Hymn Light, and you have your Inscribed Stone skill. So that's 3 huge heals that you can use to save a 1 HP ally. Alright, let's now take a look at the talent. So this one's for PvE. I'll have another one for PvP later. But anyways, yeah. So we have this one. It increases the healing received of the person that has recover on them. So yeah, pretty good. This one increases your prayer ability, which is skill 1, healing from that. Next, light wave. This basically increases your crit rate whenever your light wave is active. Okay, skill 3. This is your skill 3. So whenever it's active, it's good. Next, we have this thing increases your base crit rate by 3%. Only reason why I have this one activated is because it actually opens up our third node over here for 34% current crit rate. Okay. Next, we have 9-second cooldown reduction on this thing, Holy Guardian, whenever you get Holy Wing light up. So that's 6 stacks on your passive. It reduces the cooldown of Holy Guardian right here, which is really, really nice, especially when you're trying to save your tanks and in dungeons especially. Okay. Next, we have light healing is increased by 15%. Okay, so light healing, basically your skill 4 right here. This is the AoE ability, and it also reduces Hymn Light or your skill 6 cooldown by 3 seconds. So it's really good to actually spam light healing whenever you have your Hymn Light on cooldown. Next up, we have light wave healing. Again, light wave healing is huge, so you always have to let your teammates know that that thing on the floor is actually good for you, right? This thing right here on the floor is actually good for them. So that's healing. A lot of people actually try to go away from it, but they just don't understand the heal. Anyways, again, this is prayer increased healing. Okay, so that's again skill 1, and there's a 33% chance to reduce the cooldown of light wave. So light wave is your skill 3. So this one's really, really good. A must-have ability for sure, because this lets you spam skill 3, and if you get to spam skill 3, you get more wings and you get to heal more, basically. Next, we have your passive over here. Okay, so this passive right here basically reduces the interval of healings when you're using your skill 2 on anyone. So you get to heal them up much faster, basically. Next, another passive over here is Holy Guardian duration. Okay, so that's your skill right here, the one that makes someone much tankier. So again, these two are increased by cooldown and by Omni. So right now, I don't have any of those stats prioritized, but you prioritize them when it comes to building your equipments already and your Inscribed Stones, which we'll talk about later. Okay. Next, we have Divine Grace. So this one also, when it comes to PvE, it's pretty good, especially if your team is grouping up. So instead of just one person actually getting the damage reduction from this one, all your teammates are actually going to benefit from it as well by 10% of its effect. Next, we have base healing of Hymn Light. So that's basically skill 6, and its base cooldown is reduced by 10 seconds as well. Pretty good. And finally, we also have this one, which helps all your teammates receive 30% more healing for the next 10 seconds. So basically, really, it's the panic button. When you panic, you press this one, and then after its duration, you heal up everyone again if ever there's anyone that's still taking damage. So again, very, very strong ability right here. And then lastly, we have this one. So whenever we critically heal, there's a chance that we get to light up a Holy Wing, which is very, very good for us because Holy Wing, again, huge healing stat we can provide to our teammate. And finally, your base crit damage is increased by 10%. So again, basically, more heals when we critically strike. Okay? So that's basically the talent build that we have at the moment. Okay, next we have to understand our stats, because if you don't understand your stats, you're gonna have a tough time trying to build your equipment and also your inscribed stones. So you can see here the recommendation already is crit over omni and cooldown, intelligence, focus, and stamina. Actually, focus here is pretty okay as well, because focus is additional healing. I don't really like intelligence personally as well. It's not really that good. I mean, intelligence increases your attack, and your attack is basically your heals, right? Your heals are scaling off of your attack, but intelligence does not really scale well, so it's not recommended. But yeah, prioritize crit, omni, and cooldown, focus, basically. Okay, so that's basically the same thing that you want to find for your equipments. Let's talk about the gear. Of course, my gear it's not the best. My gears are not the best, but it's something that you can actually take a look at right here. So enhanced attribute over here is pretty good for accessories. So you want to get intelligence and focus. Like, that's the prioritization when it comes to a healer priest, and not much on hit and stamina. Okay, it's the same for the gauntlets. So it's just intelligence and focus. So I pretty much have them both here already. For the gloves, it's the same. You don't want stamina at all. Like, stamina gives you health, but you don't really need it, right? So yeah, try to get focus as much as possible. Next, for the ring, you want to get cooldown and omni. Intelligence is like the third priority here, but yeah, again, omni and cooldown on this one. Next, you have helmet and boots. So helmet and boots, this one's okay, but again, you want to get omni and cooldown, not really intelligence. Then for the boots, the same thing. Again, cooldown and omni. Stamina, meh. Stamina is the least priority here. Intelligence is like the next one, and then you ideally want to get cooldown and omni. Next, for the 4-piece, the badge, necklace, chest, and pants, you want to prioritize crit and cooldown on this one. Omni is also pretty good. Intelligence, again, not so good. Okay, so crit, omni, and cooldown, but prioritize crit and cooldown first. So it's this one. You have the badge as well over here, the chest, crit, and stamina. Like, everything here is just meh. Meh at the moment. And then finally, the last one is for your belt, shoulders, and cape. So this is your shoulder, crit, and focus. This is ideally what you want to get, crit and focus, not intelligence, not stamina. All right, this is a cape, crit and focus as much as possible. Crit and focus, not stamina, not intelligence. Okay. Oh, and for the scepter, I forgot about the scepter. Yeah, this is what you need, crit and focus, basically. That's it, and you should be good. When it comes to gems, there's not really much choice, no? So this one gives you crit. Of course, try to get it as much as possible. As much as possible, you want crit. Crit is very, very good. When it comes to the red gems, intelligence is okay, but ideally this is attack. If you can get flat attack over here, you should be good. And finally, for the blue gems, stamina is okay, but health is so much better. Like, I think stamina for everything on. This one is health, so health is so much better here. Okay, so let's not talk about colorful yet, since we don't have any of those available anyway, right? So it should be good. Okay, so now let's talk about, where is it? Inscribed stones. All right, so now you know the prioritization for the stats. Again, it's basically crit, omni, cooldown, focus, and then intelligence and stamina last. But when it comes into the inscribed stone, you want to also prioritize resonance first. Okay, resonance is very, very good, because resonance, basically this one right here, it lets you get your inscribed stone energy or inscribed stone skill much faster, which is this thing right here. Okay, so you want to focus on that one. After that one, again, you go back to crit, omni, and cooldown, and then focus, and then probably next to that one, before intelligence, ideally, is your specialization skill, which is, where is it? This thing right here, a specialization effect, right? This one increases your crit damage, which is better overall heals as well. Okay, so when it comes to inscribed stone, you actually don't want to focus on echoes as much as you are with the damage build, right? When it comes to damage build. So you want to skip, it's okay to actually skip the echoes over here and start building towards the stats that I talked about earlier. And of course, unlocking all the emblem stats. So this is my build path right now. Okay, so basically unlocking 2 nodes at the beginning, trying to get my specialization, which is crit, and then going up here and then getting the emblem out here open as well, opening this emblem slots right here. And then I actually maxed out this echo at the top because basically it gives you a lot of Inscribed Stone energy and recovers HP by 4% per second for 5 seconds. So this effect right here is pretty good. So you can go with level 1 on this one first and prioritize getting your crit up to 34%. But if you're like me and want to just start YOLOing on this one, this is fine. This is fine. And when it comes to emblems, I think the one that you want to prioritize is this one, Empowerment, right here. Empowerment is pretty good. The other one is this thing right here. So Warlike Surge. Warlike Surge is very, very good because it increases your focus for 10 seconds, and focus for a healer priest is actually converted into more healing. Okay. Next, I have Robustness. This one, don't use it for PvE. This one is for PvP because no one really is going to hit 35% HP when it comes to PvE, right? But it happens sometimes, but you can just change this one out to something else, probably something like Prayer. This one's okay. Recharge is okay as well when it comes to PvE, right? So I guess that's your 2 other choices. And then we also have my other gems or emblems over here. We have this thing. So whenever you use an ultimate, so you get heals, and Inscribed Stone energy is increased by 10 additionally. So again, we're just working to get ourselves into our Inscribed Stone skill right here with our build, right? And then finally, we have Tribal Ode. Basically increases main attributes and stamina, and it gives it to your team as well. I use it for my PvP or DPS build as well, so that's why I have it here. Okay, so that's for my build for Inscribed Stone. So if you didn't know yet, for the ultimates, you can actually upgrade them over here. When it comes to PvP as well, they have better effects. So yeah, you can actually upgrade them. But when it comes to PvE, this is what I use. It's just the Blink, Movement Speed, and Revive. Then passive talents over here, direct damage dealt and healing to decelerated targets are increased. We also have healing increase to dazed targets, so anyone who's stunned. This one's actually for PvP mainly, right? And then whenever you get hit, you get increased movement speed, which is pretty good for escaping in PvP. Okay, so that's pretty much it for my PvE build. So now let's move into the PvP one. All right, I'll just go through this one quickly because there's not much changes to explain here. So this one is not at 34%. Probably I need to do something to change this one up. Basically, I reduced this one over here, and this one, I basically took this skill right here. So healing increases by 25% to targets with less than 35% HP. This is basically the only change that I made from the previous build, right? So if you look at everything else here, it's the same except for this one, because when it comes to arena especially, a lot of your teammates are going to go down 35% HP, and this one's very useful. And if you can get to 34% crit rate here from doing something else as well, it's pretty good. But I think you can probably change that in your Inscribed Stone. But right now, I don't have a different configuration for PvP. Probably I can reduce this one, right? Reduce, and go for crit, right? So that's increase in crit. Do I have enough? 33.5%? No way. No way, really? Okay, there you go. So this is my PvP build now. Okay, so I just reduced the echo level by 1 and put everything into crit. So hopefully that's 34%. Still not 34%. Still 33.5, man. Okay. Alright, so this is now a revised PvP version. So I have 2 here, 2 here. 100% chance versus 66% chance. Maybe I should drop something else. I mean, everything else is so good. Oh well, I'd probably just keep it at this then. So just 2 out of 3 on this one. Let's see. I mean, we'll see. Later on, once we get again 34% on this already, I'll just drop 1 on this one again and increase this one later on. But anyways, that's pretty much going to be my final one. And you guys even need to see anything on heal per second, right? So you just spam these abilities, right? I don't even have a skill sequence for this one because I just unga bunga heal whenever I need, right? So there's no skill sequence for this one. It should be good. I'll throw in PvP clips for you guys at the end of the video as well. Alright, when it comes to macro, this is what I have. I just apply apply the recommended build. I mean, it actually makes sense. So whenever you have the number of wings, when your number of wings reaches 6, you cast Divine Blessing. So this is your wings ability, and then you always cast Light Wave when it's available, cast Recover when it's available, and cast Prayer. If you don't want to be using this one, actually, you can just remove it, right? So you can just start with Light Wave, and then Recover, and then Prayer, right? This way, you get to actually control when you use Divine Blessing, right? So it does not get wasted. So we enable it. So this is just going to use your skill 2 and skill 3 until you reach max wings. Right? So now it's max wings. It actually does not use up your Divine Blessing, and it's up to you to actually use it when you need it. Okay? So for me, I think this one makes much more sense because this one heals for so much and you don't want to be accidentally using it when the ally you're trying to heal is actually at full HP. Okay? You want to save it. Alright?
Hiwalay ka, Gids. Kunin mo na yung tank tsaka yung assassin. Talunan mo agad yung Diyos. Surely.
Ayun, tinalunan na ako.
Sige,
Ay, ipipil siya nung isa. Ako yung habol nila.
sige, sa amin tong Diyos. Naipit na tong Diyos. Patay. Shit, nagulti siya. Ayun, sarili. Hindi, walang silbit.
Low na.
Habol.
Aking kill yan, ano yun?
Ano million?
Ano yun?
Sige lang. May stun ka, Shurnil?
Wala. Nakastun ko kanina.
Wala rin silang damage.
Wala rin.
Mas may damage tayo.
Kisang ko kasi.
Sige lang.
Ulak ako.
Focus. Dalawang hound yung nasa awan ko. Mas malakas yung natin. Damage natin. May attack damage yun, diba?
Sustain ko lang na yung sustain.
Matay ka na.
Ay, ang bobo naman.
Anong heal na yun?
Ewan ko, full HP
Ay, ito ba
naman.
buhay niya?
Kailangan nyo yata i-stun yun yung channeling.
Try ko mag-gagan siya. Save ko. 8 seconds. Tapos may shield pa siya.
Ay, no.
Nalasan. Hindi siya nakagaling.
Patay. Bagi.
Nice one. Nakastun ako.
Matay din.
Lahat ng i-timing na huwag dying eh.
Oo, mag-save pa rin kayo ng skill. Okay na. Ano kaya to? Naglalakad na to.
Ano yan?
Tank yes.
Wala, hindi na nagagalaw.
Baka mapatay. Dalawa ba? Bali.
Nice one. Back to silver. Back to silver.
Yung flower ah.
Ng DPS nila.
Ang bilis niya daw ngayon.
Talon.
Ang mabilis niya.
Talon. Ay, warrior. Ayun, tumalon sa akin.
Yung flower. Patay yan.
Nastan.
Patay yan. Okay, yung next. Yung isang archer, yung archer muna. Wala silang healer, wala silang damage.
Nastan siya, Crispy. Yung
Para akong tank. Yan.
Okay.
Tank.
GG.
Parang ako yung naging tank eh. Healer pala yung tank dito.
Oo, walang silang update. Holy.
Kapal ng shield.
Hindi naman natin masira yung shield.
Yan, damage na din ako. Absorb. Talon para mainis siya.
Tayo na lang din ako.
Choke.
Ang inong laki nung shield.
Ano kaya tawag sa bilog na stat? Alam niyo.
Oo nga eh, may ganun kanina eh.
Gusto ko yun.
Yung AoE na stun.
Oo.
Oh. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me for this video. Thank you very much for watching and like the video if it's helpful. Subscribe if you haven't yet and leave your thoughts on the comments below. If there's anything I need to improve, let me know. If there's anything else that I did not mention, I failed to mention or did just really do not know, let me know in the comments below because it's actually a good source of information for me and for others as well. Okay, so that's it for me. Thank you very much again and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.